Make some cheddar broccoli soup. Add 1 stick of butter. Let that melt. Once your butter is melted, add 1 full chopped onion and heat these up until they're translucent. Alright, once those onions are cooked in, I'm going to add about this much garlic, a little bit of salt, some pepper, and a little bit of cayenne pepper, just all to taste. I'm going to go ahead and add my shredded carrots. Add in 1/2 cup of flour. Stir that in. Once your flour is stirred in, go ahead and add 4 cups of chicken broth. Add your broccoli. 1 whole quart of half and half. Turn off the heat. Add your cheese and stir.
What's for dinner? Heat up some avocado oil. Put in some chicken thighs. Put some of that Danos on. Once your chicken is done, remove from the pan. Add in 3/4 cups of chicken broth and some garlic. Add in a pint of cherry tomatoes and about 10 ounces of fresh spinach. Once that cooks down, add about 1 cup of heavy cream and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Add some flaky salt and pepper. Let that simmer until it thickens up. Add your chicken back in. Coat your chicken with the sauce and simmer for 5 more minutes. And
So this is the 5-minute cheesecake I serve at all my dinner parties. My cousin at Cheats and Mises taught me how to make this super cheesy cheesecake. Choose 1 small, medium, and large circular soft cheese and stack like this. Then we decorate each tier with some colorful flowers. Add some dried fruit or fresh seasonal fruit. Top with a beautiful slice of honeycomb. Finish with a gorgeous candle. That's my kind of cheesecake. For more grazing board inspo, head to
No ice cream machine? No problem. Here's a genius method for homemade ice cream that's super easy to customize. I made a rich salted rocky road. Here's how. Start by roughly chopping 6 ounces of roasted almonds. Then add 2 cups of heavy cream to a stand mixer, sift in 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, and use the whisk attachment to beat the cream into stiff peaks. The air bubbles from the whipped cream create the same texture an ice cream machine would offer from churning. Scrape down the bowl and gently fold in 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Keep folding until you get a smooth mixture, but be careful not to overmix. Then add the chopped almonds, 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, about 1 1/2 cups of mini marshmallows, and mix well. Pour the mix into a plastic or metal container, smooth out the top, add some more toppings, cover it with plastic wrap, making sure the plastic wrap touches the top to prevent a film from forming, and freeze for 6 hours to overnight. Scoop and enjoy. This is brilliant and so...
Let's make chicken and rice dish full of flavor. Pat dry and salt the chicken. In a large pot, saute onion in olive oil. Add the seasoning and mix well. Add garlic and mix again. It should look like this. Push the onions to the side and start adding the chicken. Season with salt, then the rice and water. Add black pepper, mix gently and bring to a boil. Cover and bake on 350 for 30 minutes. Let cool covered for a few minutes. Perfect tender chicken with aromatic rice. That's what's for dinner. Dig in. I live in my kitchen, but you don't have to.
Alrighty, so this is how I make the soft boiled egg from my last video. Get a saucepan and you only want to add about 1 inch or 2 of water. Put it on the stove on high heat to bring it to a boil. Cover the pan and preferably with the lid that fits, but I'm too tired to look for the right one. Once the water is boiling, add the egg, and you want to keep the eggs in the fridge until this moment. Recover and then keep the heat on high for 6 minutes. And this is why you want a lid that fits so the steam doesn't escape. After 6 minutes, you can put it in ice water or run it under cold water until it's cool enough to peel. And that's how I like my ramen eggs.
Today we're going to be making chulent in the crock pot. Diced onion, saute until golden brown. 2 cups of washed great northern beans. I use the small ones, the small tiny ones. 1 cup of pearl barley, washed. 2 tablespoons of sweet paprika. 1 tablespoon of ground pepper. Add some salt. 3 tablespoons of vegetable broth. Add water, not to cover it all up, just to cover the beans. Add the potatoes, just like that. Cover it up in your crock pot for 8 hours.
Let me show you guys how to make this delicious panko crusted chicken tenderloin in a garlic parmesan cream sauce. Start off with some kosher salt, red pepper flakes, and garlic pepper, and herb de Provence. All these spices are brown girl spice, launching soon, stay tuned. Then you want to sear off the tenderloins in some coconut oil on medium-high heat. You're gonna get this golden brown crust, and then once you get that, remove it from the pan and add 1 chopped onion and 4 cloves of garlic and a half a teaspoon of better than bouillon. Then do a heavy splash of heavy cream and bring that all together just like this. Then you want to go in with a knob of butter and a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. You can use grated or shredded, doesn't matter. Bring the sauce to a simmer until thick and add in a little bit more seasoning if you like. Then add a handful of cheese on top, add more, I didn't have enough, and then add some panko breadcrumbs. I put the panko breadcrumbs in a skillet beforehand, and then I bake this at 425 for about
Keto chicken veggie pasta. Super duper easy, and my whole family loves it. To make it even easier, I use frozen veggies and I pop it in the microwave to defrost. This is the Alfredo sauce I use. I get it at Sam's Club. It's only 2 net carbs. And I make this super simple, guys. I thaw the veggies. I put on pepper and salt. I do it to taste, so I don't measure. Then I cube 5 full chicken breasts, and I add salt and pepper and olive oil. I mix it really well. Then I actually add the veggies, a block of cream cheese, and the Alfredo all together in the bowl and mix that up super duper well. My kids love cheese, so I add cheese on top, pop it in the oven 375 for about 25 minutes till the chicken cooks through. This meal is easy, yummy, and my kids love it. If you like easy keto family recipes, then follow and like for even more.
Today, I've prepared for you prime rib, which is my family's favorite meal of all times. I'll have an ingredients list for you at the end, so let's talk technique. Your oven must be preheated at 500 degrees, and you want to cook your prime rib for 5 minutes per pound. So if it's 5 pounds, that's 25 minutes. Then turn off your oven completely, but make sure you do not open your oven. If you open your oven, the heat's gonna seep out and it's not gonna cook properly. Leave your meat in your oven for 2 hours and then pull it out. Even though everyone's gonna be staring at you, don't cut into this right away. You must let your meat rest for 10 minutes. Don't forget to like and follow because we've got some delicious.
Here's an easy dessert. All you need is Pillsbury biscuits. Dice up the biscuits and toss them in cinnamon and sugar. Heat up butter, brown sugar, and vanilla. Line a pan with the biscuits and your favorite nuts. Now pour the butter sugar over the biscuits. This is where the magic starts to happen. When they're done baking, smother in icing. Delicious.
I put the sauce on everything. Cilantro, Greek yogurt, garlic, lime juice, salt, and cumin.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some fondant potatoes so they're crispy on the outside and just melt in the middle. You want to start off by cutting each end of the potato off so it's nice and flat, and then using a cookie cutter to cut out the shape. Once you've done that, you want to peel your shallots. This is me struggling with my acrylic nails. And then you want to put some oil into a pan with some butter. You then want to add in 3 cloves of garlic and some shallot just to sweat out for a bit. Once you've done that, you want to add in some thyme and then put in your potatoes to crisp up. You want them to be a nice kind of golden brown colour when you turn them over. I should have done mine a bit longer, but I ran out of time. You then want to fill the pot with chicken stock so that the potatoes are mostly covered. You then want to put a lid on and then cook in the oven for 4.
Okay everyone, listen up. It's time to learn how to make a deep dish pizza. First, you start by patting the dough into the pan and get it really nice and thin so it gets crispy in the oven. After that comes everyone's favorite part, which is adding the cheese. We use premium grade mozzarella cheese and we add almost a pound of it. Now we put it on the bottom to make sure that it gets nice and ooey gooey in the oven. After the cheese, because this is one of our famous patty sausage deep dish pizzas, we add on the layer of patty sausage. And yes, I said layer. It's a full giant disc of sausage. After that comes the sauce, which is house made every single day, and then we add on our sprinkled Parmesan cheese and into the oven it goes. And there you have it. That's how you make a deep dish.
Okay, y'all, check it out. I'm gonna show y'all the New Orleans dirty rice. Let's go. Fry on medium, 1 teaspoon of butter. Half a green bell pepper. 1/2 red bell pepper. 1 small yellow onion. Okay, now go ahead and saute it down about halfway. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and go ahead and mix it up. Now go ahead and add 1 pound of ground meat. Now go ahead and throw some pepper in there. A nice dose of my Cajun seasoning. Salt to taste. A little bit of garlic powder. 1 stick of green onion. Continue cooking till your meat's completely cooked and brown. Now add 2 cups of cooked rice. Okay, we mixed it all up. Add in 3 teaspoons of butter and you're done. Now I'm gonna add a couple more ingredients on live to show y'all how to make New Orleans stuffed green bell peppers. Check me out in 30 minutes. And that's delicious New Orleans dirty rice.
So for lunch, I just made this giant salad and it was so good and filling, so here's how I made it. And all the measurements will be in the comments. So I used romaine lettuce and spinach, and then I added this pre-cooked chicken and some avocado and chopped cherry tomatoes and then a bunch of corn. And then I added some lime juice, and here's all the seasonings I added. And then I just put in 4 tablespoons of this.
Let me show you how to make keto fried rice. This recipe, I'm telling you, is absolutely delicious. You are not gonna think it's cauliflower. You can easily trick people. You're gonna add an egg to a smoking hot cast iron, add a little bit of veggies. Don't come at me for carrots. It's gonna be fine, guys. Take a screenshot of the recipe on here. Make it, trust me, you will love it.
I forgot about sweet potatoes I bought a few weeks ago and they sprouted. Sweet potatoes aren't started by seed, they're started from these slips. Let's take the sweet potatoes and grow more slips. First, fill a jar with water and place toothpicks into the sweet potato. Put this into water and leave it in a warm place. Follow along to watch the progress.
Hey y'all, today for lunch the girls are having these yummy sandwiches on the croissant bread. We love the buttery croissant bread. It tastes so yummy. So the first thing I'm doing is spreading some cream cheese. We love the way cream cheese tastes with turkey. So I'm adding 2 slices of turkey for the sandwich and then just adding some cucumbers and tomatoes as well. It adds such a nice crunch when you are biting into the sandwich. It makes it so yummy. And then I'm cutting it in half and putting it on a plate since they are doing at home learning. They do eat lunch here at the house. And then I'm adding some chips and salsa for them to dip their chips in. The salsa is just a mild paste picante, so both of the kids will eat it. And then I am going to add some sliced apples for their fruit and some gummies for a little bit of a treat for them. And that is it for today's lunch. Enjoy!
Pumpkin season has officially begun, and there's no better way to celebrate than with this pumpkin pasta. Start by chopping 2 bell peppers and an onion. Get those nice chopping skills. Heat up some olive oil and add your veggies and cook till they're softened about 8 minutes and add some salt. Then add in 2 cloves of crushed garlic and some seasoning. I use cinnamon, oregano, tarragon, and chili. Next, add a can of diced tomatoes and a can of pumpkin puree. Mix it all together for about 5 minutes and then plop it into a blender. Add 2 tablespoons of butter and a dash of balsamic vinegar. Blend it all together till it's super smooth and creamy. Add it back to a pan, and I added a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, which just gives it this incredible richness. Salt a pot of water and boil a box of rigatoni and add it to the sauce. Don't forget to add the pasta water. Stir it all together, and there we have the most delicious, perfect for autumn pasta. And what better way to serve it than inside an actual pumpkin? This stuff is incredible. Don't forget to top with cheese. This is perfect for fall. Follow me on Instagram.
Here's the 48-hour update of my unripened mangoes that my mom hid in my rice. They were literally rock hard 2 days ago. So did the rice hack really work? Well, let's find out. And big shocker to me, it actually worked. The mango is so soft and juicy, and it was so delicious.
If you need a healthy dessert idea, this vegan avocado chocolate pudding is literal heaven. Into a blender or food processor, add frozen avocado, cocoa powder, maple syrup, and almond milk. Blend until smooth, and oh my god, the texture is unreal and tastes so good. You guys are going to be obsessed with this. Recipe link in my bio.
If you guys never had chicken chaga, you're really missing out. But that's where I come in. I'm gonna show you guys how to make it, so let's get started with this recipe. So we got some cumin seeds, salt, black pepper, red chili powder, turmeric, garlic powder, garam masala, cardamom powder, ginger garlic paste, chaat masala, yogurt, lime juice, and some orange food coloring. You want to mix this all up and then get your chicken right in there and rub it all over the chicken. As you saw earlier, I cut some slits inside the chicken so the marinade could penetrate every little inch of it. So really rub that marinade in there. Let it rest for a couple of hours. So you can use whichever method you prefer. Usually chicken chaga is steamed and then deep fried like I did in the first chicken. But while I was waiting, the second chicken I put in the air fryer. I put a little bit of water in there so the chicken doesn't dry. 35 to 45 minutes at 375 and it turned out amazing. Now you see me deep frying the original chicken that I steamed, and to my surprise, the air fried chicken actually turned out just as good, if not better, and it was healthier and it was easier to make. Serve the chicken charga on a bed of rice, some butter garlic masala fries, fresh cilantro and lime, and
The perfect sunny side up egg. I started with quite a little bit of olive oil in the pan, cooked it on a medium-low heat. I added some garlic to infuse into the olive oil. I basted the egg with the garlic-infused olive oil so that the whites were set but the yolks were still runny. I toasted a tortilla.
Paris Hilton's famous dinner lasagna. Here's all our secrets, guys. When making the cheese, Paris says do not waste your time shredding your own mozzarella. Use the pre-shredded, add an egg, and mix with a spatula because it's cute. When making the meat, add 11 turns of black pepper because 11's lucky, Paris says. Wear sunglasses in case you use onions, but Paris doesn't use onions. Layer it on and then wrap it like a cute present. So hot, Paris.
Oreo chaffles, guys. These were so good. I started by heating up my chaffle iron and spraying it with some cocoa oil. I used unsweetened cocoa. I really like this monk fruit sweetener. A pinch of salt, baking powder, 1 egg, some vanilla, and heavy whipping cream. And mixed that well. The chaffle iron and the whisk are linked in my bio. And then I poured into the hot iron and cooked until the light indicated that they were done. Then I just topped with some peanut butter and some unsweetened chips. If you don't want the added carbs, you can eat these plain or with some unsweetened whipped cream. But
an awesome tip for freezing hamburger: flatten it out in your Ziploc bag before you throw it in the freezer. That way when you take it out, it'll defrost much quicker.
Pasta made by a non-Italian part 4, Alfredo. Feel free to either make or buy your pasta. Either way is completely okay. Truth be told, this is my first time making fresh pasta that wasn't gnocchi. So I want to show you how easy it was. Whether it's your first time or your millionth time, it is one of those things that just feels really good to make by hand. I'll leave the entire recipe on my Instagram at @BeLooseFoods. That way you'll have some step-by-step instructions, no worries. And the best part of making your own pasta is you can change the shape however you'd like. When your pasta is ready, heavily salt some boiling water and cook for 3 to 4 minutes. The Alfredo should be made off the heat with some butter, parm reg, black pepper, and a bit of pasta water. Mix that vigorously until a beautiful cream forms like this. Now plate it and garnish with toasted black pepper. And always,
let's make Cheezits at home. Grab your favorite kind of cheese. I'm using Colby Jack, and cut each slice into fourths using a pizza slicer. Once you do that, you're gonna grab a sheet pan and lay it out with some parchment paper. Spread them out about 1 inch apart, and then grab a straw and put little holes in the middle to give it that Cheez-It effect. Once you do that, they're ready to be seasoned. You're gonna grab some sea salt and sprinkle that on top of them, and now they're ready for the oven. Throw them in at 275 for 25 minutes. They come out looking like this. They're freaking crazy delicious. These things are no joke. Just listen to this crunch.
After tasting homemade mayonnaise, you'll never want to buy again. Add eggs, mustard, vinegar, and salt to a blender. The mustard is optional, but it adds a lot of flavor. Start processing. While the blender is working, start adding slowly the oil, using a very thin stream. It will become lighter in color and thicker. For more flavor, you can add lemon juice. Freshly made with real ingredients. You'll want to eat it with a spoon. I live in my kitchen, but you don't have to.
It is so easy to make delicious burgers at home. Here's my recipe for smash burgers with a red onion burger sauce. For the sauce, in a bowl, add a 1/3 cup mayo, a 1/3 cup of ketchup, a 1/4 cup mustard, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika, a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/3 cup of diced red onions. Mix it all together, and it tastes best if you let the onions marinate in the sauce for 24 hours, but you can also serve it right away. And then for the burgers, get no leaner than 80-20 ground beef and grab a small handful of it and lightly form it into a ball. Try not to massage the meat at all. It gives the burgers a weird texture. In a skillet on medium-high, add your butter, your ball of ground beef, and use a flat spatula to smash it. A large, thin spatula like this is the best thing to use for these burgers. Season each side with salt and then flip after it gets a nice sear. Add a slice of American cheese and cook until it melts. These burgers are best served on potato bread, specifically Martin's potato rolls, and I would recommend making double cheeseburgers because the more the merrier. Add your sauce on the top bun and enjoy.
So I decided to make the pasta, the Giga Hadid one everyone's been talking about on TikTok. You're going to add some olive oil to a pan and put some onion in that, let that simmer. Then you're going to add in some garlic, let that simmer. A tablespoon of tomato paste, mix that up. You want to keep mixing. 1/2 a cup of heavy cream. Keep mixing it up until it looks like that. Some salt, black pepper, smoked paprika, chili flakes, a little more chili flakes, garlic powder, then a tablespoon of butter, Parmesan cheese, mix it up with some pasta water, and it looks like that. Final product.
This is a quick and simple way to cook a chicken breast and to keep it really moist. So cut it down the back like this, and we call that butterflying. Then give it a season. I'm using smoked paprika here, like a sweet style smoked paprika, salt and pepper. Flip it over and do it on both sides. Then I want to use a griddle pan, but you can just use a normal pan. Nice and hot, but the trick is when you see it starting to go white on the edges like that, flip it over. It's about 6 minutes on both sides. Just give it a little double check, bring it out, good squeeze of lemon, give it a carve. Simple as that. Nice, tasty, simple and moist.
When these are beautifully ripe and in season, you make gazpacho. It's Spanish. Medium heat, 8 minutes. 2 beefsteak tomatoes. 1 small red onion, chopped. Deeply in cold water removes the harsh flavor. 1 hothouse cucumber, peeled, seeded, chopped. Half of a serrano chili. 1 red bell pepper. Remove the corn. I showed you how to do it. Don't disappoint me. Add to a blender drained onions. Roll the lime. You know why. Freshly squeezed lime. 1/3 cup Spanish extra virgin olive oil. Salt vigorously. Pepper. 1 teaspoon cumin. Cilantro. Best flavor, marinate 2 hours to overnight. Lump crab, because you fancy.
The easiest way to make a cheesesteak. Get some shaved steak, you can find it at any grocery store, and put it down in a hot pan. I'm going to season mine with Reload Rub Magnum, but you guys can use whatever you want here. Try to break up the meat as much as you can. I sauteed some peppers and onions earlier. I put them in my portion, but my husband said absolutely not. Then I did my little water trick to make sure everything melted. Just popped the lid on for a few minutes and took it off when the cheese was melted. These are so quick and easy to make, especially with the meat already cut up, and that's how to make a super easy cheesesteak.
Okay, I've resisted banana pancakes for weeks, but maybe after like hundreds of comments asking for it, here's my version of the recipe. Take 1/2 of a banana, 30 grams of oats, 20 grams of cauliflower, but stay calm, just everybody stay calm, 15 grams of spinach, you won't taste it, add a tablespoon of maple syrup, 3/4 teaspoon baking powder, pinch of salt, and 2 eggs. Everything's written out here in case you want to screenshot it. And you know the rest, we flip, we stack, and let me know what pancake you want to see next.
Alright guys, I know y'all seen my boy Matt, Rourke Boys Barbecue, post about his killer smoked mac and cheese, so I had to see what all the hype's about. So I got my noodles boiled up. I used a can of evaporated milk, Parmesan cheese, Colby Jack cheese, salt and pepper. I used a little all queued up barbecue rub, just a little secret ingredient there. Next, 1/2 stick of butter, 1/2 stick of Velveeta cheese. Add milk as you go to get that creaminess that you see here. It is money. Now, let's dump that goodness in with the rest of the mixture. Mix it up good. Now we're going to hit it with a little more Colby Jack cheese all over the top of it. And of course, you got to hit it with a little more of that barbecue rub from all queued up. Next, got the smoker cranked up to 300 degrees. Camp Chef, throw it in there. And guys, let me tell you, he ain't lying. This is money.
Take some biscuits and flatten them all out. Add your taco meat. Add your cheese. Pop them in the oven for at 350 for 15 minutes. And bam, mini taco.
I'm going to show you how to make these brownies with a secret ingredient. In a bowl, mix your oat flour, cocoa powder, sweetener of choice, grated zucchini, and baking soda. In another bowl, mix milk of choice and egg, some melted chocolate, and whisk it together. Pour your wet mixture into your dry mixture and combine until you get this brownie batter. Pour into a lined brownie tin. Top with optional chocolate chips and bake it in the oven. For the frosting, mix the ingredients on the screen until you get this thick frosting. Smear it on your brownies and add some optional sea salt. So good.
You guys saw what happened with the In-N-Out spread packet, and this time we're gonna make it at home. Let's mix together some mayo, ketchup, add some relish, a little vinegar, and some sugar, then just mix, 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 and keep on mixing it.
All right, let's make these really good fried cheesy bacon balls. Right here I'm boiling 4 medium Idaho potatoes. Go ahead and mash them up, and then let them cool down for 1 hour. While that's cooling down, I made about a pound of bacon, Once it's cooled down, I put 2 tablespoons of flour, pepper, Italian seasoning, and salt. 1 egg, give that a good mix. Now add your bacon in there, and it should look like that. Now form this into a ball. Now a patty. Go ahead and put some cheddar cheese right in the center, and try to make it into a ball, just like that. All right, now we're gonna put it in our AP flour, our egg wash, and our seasoned breadcrumbs. All right, and they should look like that. Now let's go ahead and get this in some hot oil. Let's say about maybe 3 minutes on each side. There you go. Now let's go ahead and plate these beauties up. Dip it in some BBQ sauce. Take a bite out of this and enjoy.
Let me show you a simple way to enhance any vegetables. I'm using broccoli, so as always, don't forget to use up the stem, give it a little peel, then you can cut it into rounds, half moons, wedges, whatever you want to do. I love using the stem, it's heaps of flavour and obviously heaps of goodness. So blanch it in boiling salted water as always, make sure the water tastes like the ocean, that gives you the most seasoning. This is a little trick I learned of Gordon Ramsay. Season the top, then drain it, then add a little bit of soy sauce or shoyu, a little bit of sesame oil, toss that together, plate it up, and then just finish it with a scatter of sesame seeds. Hope you enjoy.
So all you need is a cup of hot water, 1 green tea bag, pour it in your cup, 1 spoon of turmeric powder, 1 spoon of ginger powder, and a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with mother, honey, and lemon juice. Pour it all in your cup. Stir until it's well incorporated, then drink once.
First, you're going to add half a cup of cheese. Then you're going to add 1 tablespoon of almond flour. Then you're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Then you're going to add a dash of onion powder. Another dash of garlic salt. Then you're going to mix it. Make sure you mix it to where the cheese is very cohesive with all the seasonings that were put in there. Mix, mix, mix. Then you're going to crack 1 egg and mix it again. It should look like this. Then you're going to pour it into your dash waffle maker. We got this little one from Target. Close it. Voila.
I've got lemons, whiskey, and smoked salmon. Let's make this creamy delight. Ingredients. Make the butter dance on a low flame and add your salmon. Cooking it in lemon juice and smoky whiskey makes it a masterpiece, just like you are. The cream should be salted with a scrunch of pepper and then cooked for 5 minutes. Now is a good time to boil the pasta. I chose this tagliolini pasta. It's like fettuccine, but cut in half. The trick is to take your pasta out a couple of minutes early and finish cooking it in the sauce so that it absorbs all of its flavors. Add pasta water and work it. Everything blends together like magic. Just gorgeous.
The next time you buy a whole chicken, try this marinade. Grab a bowl, crushed red pepper, some white cooking wine, olive oil, thin sliced white onion, lots of garlic, parsley, salt, and pepper. Mix it up really well. Add your whole chicken and let it marinate for about 2 to 3 hours. So if you're sick and tired of eating the same kind of chicken, definitely give this a go. Super delicious, full of flavor, you'll love it.
Let's make this roasted cherry tomato pasta one of my favorite weeknight meals. Start with 2 pounds of cherry tomatoes, 1 tablespoon minced garlic, 6 thyme sprigs, 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, 1 teaspoon of ground sumac, half a cup of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, and a whole lot of kosher salt. Give it a good old mix, which is oddly satisfying. Then pop this into a 300-degree oven for about 1.5 hours until your tomatoes are jammy and gorgeous, just like this. I pour this over 1 pound of penne that I cooked, and you're just going to stir the two together. The tomatoes are going to break down and form this glossy, creamy sauce. That is what good pasta sounds like. All that's left to do is shove it in your mouth.
Copycat Applebees quesadilla burger. Take some of this and mix it together with some ground beef and taco seasoning. Form it into a large patty and put it in a hot pan with butter. While that's finishing up, melt some butter in a large pan. Put a tortilla down and then add some cheese on top. I chose American. Add tomato, shredded lettuce, and a little red onion. Now take your burger and put it right on top. Add more cheese. I'm using cheddar now. And I'm going to add a little ketchup. Why not? Top it with another tortilla and just brown it on both sides. It's looking good in there. We have a really ugly top tortilla situation happening due to some melted cheese, but let's just ignore that. So just cut it in half, and that's what it looks like. What should I copycat next?
I have a really special recipe for you guys today. This is a dish I always asked my grandma to make me when I was little. I was so happy my mom found her cookbook because I haven't had this dish in over 10 years and I really miss my grandma's cooking. Now, my grandma was not the most gourmet cook, but everything she made was made with love, and she loved being in the kitchen just like me. Start off by dicing up a bunch of colorful veggies. I chose bell peppers, onions, carrots, and celery because that's what she always used. It's funny to me because going through her cookbook, the only seasoning she ever used was garlic salt, but you can use your favorite seasonings too. When the veggies are soft, you're going to sear your pork chops in the same pan and then transfer them to a casserole dish. Another thing I noticed going through her cookbook is that there was always a can of condensed soup of some sort. This one she used cream of mushroom. Honestly, it was bittersweet making this dish because now I really miss my grandma's cooking, but I know she would be happy I shared it with you guys.
Keto Mac and Cheese, you're going to love this. 3 cups cauliflower, 3/4 cup heavy cream, teaspoon Dijon mustard, 1.5 cups cheddar cheese. Stir it all together, pour it over the raw cauliflower. Now you're going to bake it 350, 35 minutes. Take it out. Enjoy it. You're going to love it.
You are going to love this quick and easy, everything but the bagel truffle. You're going to need 1 egg scrambled, 1 tablespoon of almond flour, 3/4 cup of mozzarella cheese, 1 teaspoon of the everything bagel seasoning, and then some softened cream cheese to top with. You're going to sprinkle a little bit of mozzarella cheese in your mini waffle iron, add in half of the mixture, and then sprinkle a little bit on top. And then you're going to close it and let it cook for about 1.5 minutes or until it gets as crispy as you would like it. This actually makes 2 truffles. This is such an incredible breakfast. I hope you guys enjoy and have a wonderful morning.
Here's how you can make apple cider vinegar for pennies. You'll need an apple, a glass jar, sugar, a swatch of cloth, and rubber bands. Put your sugar and your apples in the jar and pour warm water over the top. Place it in a cabinet. After 3 weeks, strain out the apples. Then let it rest for a month and you're left with this beauty.
Easy chicken taquitos.
Spray